Well, hey, this is Rose RCG Creations. How are you doing? I'm bringing you today a project for a swap, and it's called Artic Animals Swap. And we can create whatever it is that you want, a card, an album, frame, whatever. It doesn't make any medium you want of your choice. The only thing is you got to have some kind of Arctic animal in that creation. So, because I'm more of a card maker than anything, and I have this new set that I got a couple of months ago. I haven't been able to use yet, but I thought this was really cute, and this is going to be my Arctic theme. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this in watercolor. Now, I'm not that swift on watercoloring, but we're going to go and see what happens, and I'm going to bring you along as I go. Okay, and I have two sets of watercolors that I'm going to be using. I'm going to use my watercolor pencils. And then I have this set of Art Philosophy Metallic Accents. Okay, and these are watercolor. Oops. These are actually metallic semi-watercolors. There's 12 different colors, but... Okay, come on. Oh, sorry, I don't have a good grip. But anyway, aren't those pretty? Aren't those gorgeous colors? Look at that. And stuff. So I'm going to be using this set too. And my little water brush, and this is from, who is this from? Let me get my specs on. Okay, this is from, oh, Prima Marketing Ink. So this is a water brush, and I got the fine tip one. I have two different sizes, but I just got the tip one. You just basically keep the water inside there, and then you squeeze it whenever you want excess water. So I'm going to be using that. So let's get started. First I'm going to do some stamping. I'm going to lay everything out. I went ahead and put the little igloo, and I'm going to do a little Arctic scenery. Pretty much I'm going to color most of it, and then I'm going to use that white puffy paint that I had gotten. I saw that on another video, and I did post it. I'm going to find where I put it. And it's not right here in my little row tray. Oh, I think it is. I think I found it. Yeah, here it is. The Snowmaker. So here's my little Snowmaker pen. And I'll link the video to that. But I'm going to put a little snow on there. So let's get to stamping. But I got to decide. This is the hardest part about when you create a card is how do you want to make it work so it looks good without like, I don't know about that. Okay. But I like the little message. It says, make a splash and relax. And you got the little fishies. So I'm thinking he's sleeping, daydreaming. You know how we humans count our sheep to sleep? I don't, but some people do. So I'm thinking little bears count their fishes as they're sleeping so they can get a better sleep. And stuff. So let's just get rolling and see what happens. And I'm going to be using my Stays On Dove Gray. Yeah, Dove Gray color, my Stays On. This is the only gray that I have that's really light. Because I want it light, so when I'm inking, you kind of sort of see the outline, but you don't, not really. So, I'm thinking I want to put, one way of doing this is you lay all your stamps where you want, and then I like to take a picture, so let me go ahead and do that. I'm going to put this to the side here. So I'm thinking I'm going to do the little igloo over here. Put my little bear on this side here. Actually, you know, I'm going to put him on the center. That's what I'm going to do. Put him in the center of the picture. And this is a 5x7 card base, and this is watercolor paper. And so let's put the little igloo over here. We'll center him up so it kind of high, so it kind of looks like it's kind of a little far away a little bit. And then let's put the little fish. I do like the little fishies here. Let's angle that there. Angle this one here. Okay. I'll put the little South Pole stand. over here, because I gotta draw ice. Well, I'm gonna ink ice and ink it on there. So we're gonna have some snow back here. Then here's the little iceberg with some little water, and then we'll put a little snowbank right in behind this. Okay, so make a splash and relax. I think this is a cute message. Make a splash and relax. Let's do this in the center. Make a splash and relax. I think I'm even going to use some of my glitter to make it sparkly. Because you know how ice has got some sparkles in it? And then there's there's the little fish. And let's do this one little fish over here to the side. Because we want to offset this. Since we got the pole over here, we want to offset this guy over here. I think that's going to be kind of cute. So the only thing I didn't use was this little bear, but that's okay. We'll save him for another project. Okay. Let's go with that theme. Let me get my phone, because I want to take a picture, so in case I have to move something. Okay, camera. And there's the picture. So that way when I move things around, I know where they're laid out as. Okay, so let me get my thing out of the way. You know what? I'm going to do this all together with my Stampin' Buddy. I'm not going to use this little pad. I'm going to make it easy. And let me get my Stamparatus out of here. As my stamping tool. I'll be able to lay everything together all at one time. And I can stamp all at one time. And that would save me a lot of time. I'm going to be careful, move that so it doesn't move. I love the Stamparatus because you can pick it up and move it. And I use my Stampin' Buddy. This is my Stampin' Scrub from Stampin' Up. And I use that because this is the perfect height. And this is the Stamparatus from Stampin' Up. Ah! But, sorry, hold on. I'm losing my stamps. I banged it. Oh, I hope I didn't miss anything. Let me double check in just a second. Thank goodness I had that photo. But anyway, let me get this out of the way here. And see when you open it up, that way you don't put any too much tension on here. Okay. So now I'm going to put my card up here. Let me get this out of the way over here. Move this out of the way, and let's move this down some. I move my mat because my mat is where I know I'm in focus with the camera. I just move this over around. Okay, so there we go. Get my stamp pad out of the way. I don't want to accidentally bump it. And I like to keep it flush, so this way it always stays flushed. Put my magnet over here. And this magnet on this side. That way when I pick it up and move it, nothing ever happens. So, piece of fuzz there. Oh good, I think I have everything still here. Yay! It all landed. Okay, here we go. Make a splash. We'll want that in the center. I'm not going to measure. I'm just going to eyeball the things. I'm not too much on measuring. I just eyeball everything. Oh, I did drop it. Where's my little fish? Where's my other little fish? Okay, I'm gonna pause you because I gotta find my little fish. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I was able to save all the pieces. One of them, the little fish, thank goodness he was on the floor. I didn't run over my little wheels of my chair. So I'll stamp it all up. Now I'm gonna stamp everything at one time. That's gonna save a lot of time, which is another good reason if you can, try to invest on a stamping tool of your choice. There's all kinds out there. I'm not going to sell any or discuss anything, but if you want any suggestions or recommendations, in my 30-some odd years of stamping and crafting, I've gone through a bunch of tools, and I'd be happy to give you my personal opinion of any one product. But right now and total, let me get my little homemade stamping tool. It's just a cube, an old wood piece, wood block, and I just put some felt on it. And that's what I'm going to be using to get that good impression. I don't really want it overly dark because I'm going to be watercoloring. I just want an outline of, excuse me, an outline of where each image is going to be. So, okay, so that turned out good. That turned out, okay, I need to do a little bit more on the fish. So let me redo the fish a little bit. The igloo is good, but I can redo the door a little bit on the igloo. And definitely need the words. The wording needs to redo, and the sign where it says South Pole. And my fishies, my one little fish over here could be redone. So let's just stamp it again and again, because you didn't move anything. You just restamp it. Put a little pressure. You don't really need a lot of pressure. It looks like I'm doing a lot, but I have problems with my mobility and movement and pressure on my hands. But typically, you don't really need to do a lot of pressure on these things. That's another good thing when you use good quality stamps with good quality tools. Oh, you know what? This is not working. You know why? My magnet, the depth of my magnet is keeping this from stamping all the way down. So I'm going to move this up, and then I'm going to push it back down. And see that? That's all it took. The height of the magnet is what kept the pole. So everything's pretty much highlighted here. Oh, let me do my little fishy over here. And the little grooves here are keeping that from going on the little tails. Not a good impression. Okay, so let me do that one more time. Don't necessarily need to do it. I'm just basically wanting to show you some steps. Oh, you know what? That's not inking because it's not, the stamp is missing right there. They did that on purpose when they created the stamp. That's what's going on. Okay, so that is good. That is good. And we're done on that part. But what I'm going to do now, I'm not going to move anything, but I am going to, I have a little stamp chamois from Lawn Fawn. All you do is get it wet, but I'm going to remove the ink from my StazOn off of here. Go ahead and remove it off of this other stuff. I'm not moving this because in case something happens, I want to be able to restamp it if I need to again. So I'm going to leave it just like this until I'm totally finished with the project. But what I do want to do is I want to use a darker black on the wording so it stands out a little bit better. See that? So much better. Perfect. Because all this is going to be light, but the wording and the message is my main focal point. Okay, so let me get my stamping pad, stamping chamois, remove the ink off of here. Just remove the magnets. And this can get moved out of the way. I'll clean everything a little bit later. So let's get to water. Put my thing back away. Now let's get to watercoloring. I'm going to start and stop while I get my colors and get everything together, and I'll bring you back. I'm just checking to make sure the recording's back on. Here I've done the card, and I will show you in a few minutes step by step. But what I'm doing now is I went ahead and stamped everything as you saw, and then I made little masks out of masking. Actually, this is just sticky notebook paper. So I inked it all up, made some mask, and then I inked everything over. So now what I'm doing is I'm actually coloring the little items now. And I'm going to have to go with my blue over here because of the water. But what I wanted to show you is when you ink with a light color, it helps you stay in the lines of where the item is. And I'm just using my little cheapy little grocery store watercolor paint set. There's nothing special about it. And then I'm just basically watercoloring in the lines is all I'm doing. And I just wanted to show you. And of course, you know, watercolor, it goes on dark, but then it dries lighter. So sometimes you have to go back with a second coat. I like to, when I watercolor, I like to do one coat, let it dry. See, like here, I started on this side and I'm going down here. Here's my little patch of water, so I got to be careful because I don't want to get water on this side of the card. And I want to make this just because I want the fish to be a little bit darker. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know if there's any really green fish in the sea. But you know what, it's my creation, so I'm just making it up as I go. And then, once I'm done with all the coloring, I'm going to put it back in my stamp apparatus, because I left all the stamps exactly where they are, and I'm going to restamp it again with the darker ink. And that's going to give a nice, good, crisp impression. But I just wanted to show you when you're coloring with watercolors, it's really fairly easy. And personally, I prefer watercoloring with watercolor versus markers because you have a better control. And I just like the smooth look of it, because it looks a lot more finished and more smooth and even. I'm also not a good marker colorer. I haven't practiced enough with it yet. So I'm just showing you where I'm going back. These were a lighter, the same color. And I'm just going to go on and give it a second layer. Just to make it more of a darker green. And there that are. So now we're going to go to the next phase, and I'll bring you back when I get to that part. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm back. Here is the card, and I went ahead, as I said, I colored it all with watercolors. Every bit of this is done with watercolors. Then I went back with my Versa Fine black Onyx black ink, and I re-inked it, and see how much more better it looks now that it's all nice and crisp and clear. So now I'm going to be using this snow marker. And some stuff here. What you do is, like, you press down on it, and then you put some heat to it, and it puffs up. You apply it wet, you dry it with a heat tool ASAP, and so I'm just going to put a little bit of snow just around. I just messed up. I gotta get my paper towel. Squeezed a little too much. So I'm just going to soak up the excess. That's my messed up, but thank goodness it was right in here on the white, so it's not too bad. And my snow up here is kind of a bluey white, because not all snow is white. So, and I just want to do a little bit of snow here. Little puffy parts of snow. I'm not going to do in the doorway, because I would think it'd be like most people's in their homes. There's a pathway of where and I'm going to do a couple of pieces of puffiness here on top, because you got to remember, snow would land on top of the ice, the igloo. And then on the sign here, and I'm just barely dabbing it, because I just want a little bit of poofiness for the snow. And I'm going to do some around here to make it look like it's dug into the snow. And then we're going to get a heat gun. And I'm going to pause for just a second. Well, actually, I'm not going to pause. I'm just not going to talk. The heat gun is noisy. But I'm going to show you how it puffs up. Just make sure your heat gun is hot before you start to use it. bit so you can see the puppy there. Let me get back to the pole. And like your other embossing products, you don't want to put it too hot because it will burn. But look, let me fold this. See that? See how it's a little puffy? So it looks like bits and pieces of snow. Isn't that neat? And look at this, look at the pole. See that? I'm going to angle that so you can see that. Let me get it. I'll be so glad when I get my second camera so I can see what I'm doing as I'm videoing. Someday. Okay. But isn't that cute? I'm not going to worry about any snow because, you know, typically when you're in the, at least from what I see on the nature show, the ice, there's really not much ice on a piece of ice here. But I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of puffiness here and there. Just to show some little snow drifts. I think that would be kind of neat. So let's just do some puffies here and there. And then we'll do some at the edge where the water was at. We'll put a little bit more here on the part of the igloo that probably has a little bit of snow on it. We don't want to do too much. And with it white on a white, it's kind of hard to see anyway. Okay, so let's see how the heat tool works. I gotta angle it so I can see where the little white lines are at. And that's not puffing up. Maybe it'll have enough. Let me shake this up. And this is that snow marker tool. Let me do a little bit more. Maybe I need to put more liquid because it said, I know it said to do it fast. Maybe I let it dry too soon. Because it does, I do have a note on here that says to do it fast. Okay, yeah, there it is. Yep, you got to do it fast. Don't let it dry. So just do a little bit at a time. So let me go back to my other little snow banks that I made. I got to pick this up to see on the glare. Yep, that's what it is. It's the speed. You've got to make sure that it's wet for it to puff up. So let's go over here. Ah, there I go again. Too much. I didn't realize this was so sensitive, but then, you know, I've never really used it. I've only used this once, I think twice. Yeah, I've used it twice on 2 different other projects, so. Let me take most of this off of here, because I definitely don't want it in the water. Even though sometimes in real life there is snow puffiness in the water. There we go. There we go. Whoops. It's an appointment that I have for next Saturday, not today. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and continue with that, and I'll bring you back. Okay? Okay, I'm bringing you back. Okay, let me just double check. I think there's something wrong with the camera. Okay, I guess I didn't push it down far enough. But because I messed this up, I forgot to double tape this on the back here. I have a bleed over, so instead of doing this as a card, I'm going to just do this as a card front. So I'm going to trim, and because this is kind of a watery look, I'm using my rotary blade that has oh, hold on. Okay, I'm back here. Sorry about that. Somebody called and we're expecting a phone call. We had some solar put on the house and it's like, oh. But it wasn't them, it was somebody else. Anyway, so I'm just cutting the edges off just to trim because I'm going to use this as a card front versus a actual card, and I'll just use this other piece for another project. So that's definitely not going to be wasted, because this is watercolor paper. And this watercolor paper is a little on the pricey side, but I like it, and it's definitely worth it for me. So all I'm going to do is trim the edge, and then I'm going to put this on another card base, and then I'll finish out the card, and I'll bring you back for that. Okay, well, I'll bring you back when I show you to the end of the card. Okay, just taking it back to the recording time. Here is the card. I went ahead, like I said, I cut it out, and I attached a piece of cardstock. I got bent a little bit there. And then that is the entire finished card. And as you can see, the white snow puffiness. And I left the bear totally white. Didn't do anything with him. And then here is the inside of the card. And I used my, these are from like CVS. It's actually where I got these from. These are sponge makeup tips. But I like them because they have that fine point. And I just got my white, Whisper White ink from Stampin' Up. And I painted him whites because I did stamp him on here, and then I got a black Sharpie and I outlined the black again, and then it is more puff snow here just to make it a little bit similar to the front. So there's the message. It says, make a splash and relax. And then this message is, sometimes being with your best friend is all the therapy you need. Isn't that pretty? And I went ahead, and these are the stamps that I used. These are from, who are these from? Crafters Consortium. And there's the information on them. And then this was the one that has the message that's on the inside. And this is from Stampendous. And those are the messages that I used for them. And then that's the information of the stamp if you want to get on their website and order this for yourself. But anyway, so this is my take on today's video. Hope you enjoy it. We thank you so much for watching. You have a good day. Don't forget to hit like, comment, and share. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.